Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to enter the Crystal Mountain Range Basin, or the Crystal Basin for short. This is part of the Eldorado National Forest. It also borders the Desolation Wilderness. We'll have views of Guide Peak, Pyramid, and Devil's Peak. There are also many other prominent ones in the area. But this is a 30-mile road, and it's a high-intense Bigfoot area. Also well renowned for its UFO sightings and other paranormal happenings. I don't know. I've had some strange things happen to me out in the Desolation Wilderness, and we found some pieces and tidbits of evidence. But I'll show you the basin as soon as we get out of this thick woods. Vegetation is extremely overgrown out here. There are no paths to some of the hikes and rock scrambling we'll be doing. It's okay. Where you find the best evidence is often the places where the road less traveled by man. At least the road is paved. At least, you know, probably till we get to the Union Reservoir, and then from there on it might be dirt. It's hard to say. But you still have 30 miles of road before we get to the lake shore to camp on. Ice House Resort. I didn't know there was a resort back here. You can kind of see the mountains, which overshadow the area. We continue to ascend. And I thought, hey, we're at the top of the range. No way. These mountains still go a couple thousand feet, maybe 2,000-3,000 feet that tower above the basin itself. Hopefully we see some scenery soon. Wow, this person was in my lane. They really don't pay attention, some of these people. We're still ascending, so we should get a good view at the top of the ridge up here. Let's see what happens around the corner. There's a boat up ahead and a dirt bike, which is great. Well, the boat is great for Loon Lake, but the dirt bike is really great for some of the dirt roads that are found back here. And trust me, there's a lot of dirt roads, a lot of lakes, and a lot of backcountry. You could spend years just exploring it. We don't have that amount of time, but I'll tell you what, I'll soak it all up. Target practice, play football, horseshoes, eat good, hike, swim, boat, whatever I want to do. The world belongs to me. Or is it the universe is mine? I feel like Stewie. Destroy the whole universe. But seriously, I'm going to rip it up here and have a good time. See what will transpire today. We'll go to Devil's Peak and then maybe hit some lakes tomorrow in search of Bigfoot. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. The Crystal Basin. I have to pay attention to the road, so I'm only going to hold the camera. That sun is bright. We're already up. It's almost 10 a.m. and in areas it's 80 degrees, other areas it's 76. I've even seen it jump a little above 80. It's going to get to about 90 degrees out here, maybe 95 in certain areas of this basin. It's an unforgiving wilderness. It's harsh to hike in. It's hot in the summer, very cold in the winters. Oh, there's Pyramid Peak, I believe, but it looks like it went behind the mountain, or behind the tree. Sides are very steep along the road. What's this say up here?
Desolation
like to hear that the Desolation Wilderness is up here, because we're just getting deeper on in to the Eldorado, which means that we'll be coming up on, we're halfway to Loon Lake right now, maybe more, which is good, because we'll be coming up on our camping spot, or a camping spot. Of course, I want the lakefront property, because that's the best. To be able to fish right there on the lake, it doesn't get any better than that. Drink a beer and sit back in a chair, that's relaxation right there, that's the life. That's paradise. Some of the trees are huge. Look at those trees. I mean, their nose aren't that big, but they're tall. The creeks are very dry. There's some mountains up ahead. They always, when we see the mountains, they look so massive. That's because we're miles and miles away from them until you get right up on them. Then you realize, oh, it's only, a mile to the peak. But the basin is surrounded by many large monolithic mountains, which makes Loon Lake a very scenic place. Very scenic. But to get that type of scenery, you have to really venture deep into the wilderness. We have oars? You have to bring your own oars. Yeah. South, is there any trees? That's a campground, man? Looks like, yeah. Wow. Look at the sun. Wow, there are some peaks. It's hard to see anything over the trees. I've seen some nice peaks, and then I get ready to film and they go behind the trees, and that's it. Now, some of those peaks we'll be able to see up here when we get out to Loon Lake, but you won't be able to see them all because we'll be so close to the Crystal Mountains. Some of them will be towering behind other mountain peaks. You really have to hike in multiple areas to get the full effect if you want to see all these scenic sites and peaks and creeks, various lakes. I've seen Indian Creek Reservoir out here. Another creek. Oh, that's cool. There's some kind of, you see that down there? A dam? Yeah, there's a dam and a powerhouse, or that might power the area. There is a resort up here. I mean, could be. Road work. Jeez. That's a
7 miles.
Next 7 miles all the way to Loon Lake. Lovely, huh? Always road work wherever we're going. Now we're getting to some rocky terrain. That's because we're climbing over the basin. Expect delay. Oh, that's Monday through Friday.
Today is Friday.
Oh, damn. Dang. They're doing construction. Those mofos. Loon Lake 5. Oh, that's a dam. Do we have to go this way?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a nice house, right?
Yes. You don't want Wentworth goes to other places. I forgot it goes to the right. We're going to be camping near the dam. Maybe. Unless people have taken it, then they're just going to have. Everybody's going to have to find me. Oh, here we go. I see peaks. I also see a lot of woods and no visible end to them to even film the peaks.
Doesn't look like it ends. Unless it ends up here.
Where the pavement ends, the adventure begins. Well, it's supposed to be a gravel or dirt road coming up. And again, maybe that's the construction. Maybe they're getting ready to redo the road, or maybe they took out the road and that's why there's gravel towards the end of it. Perhaps they're getting ready to redo it, since this area seems to be full of people and hikers, motorcyclists, boats. You see a lot of boats. The lake. This is one of the largest lakes in the Eldorado National Forest that we're going to, at least accessible via vehicle. where you can just drive and pull right up. However, a lot of the other lakes are very offbeat, but you have to hike to those, and that's what makes it cool, is there's a little reward at the end of your hike with lakes. Yeah, I don't see any gravel or dirt. I expected there to be some. They have signs, but it continues on. Maybe. There's gravel that way. That's one of the lakes down. That's one of the ways to the lake is down there. Beautiful woods. Very lush. Everything's so green. I'm digging it. It's awesome. Oh yeah, that's because the lake is kind of to the right. The shoreline is has a lot of curves, and so the road follows the shoreline kind of, and that explains why it's this way. Loon Lake should be down there. All this dirt they're stirring up, and you know what? It gets me, because where's the dirt? Right here, this little patch of gravel, that's it. Jeez. That's it. Another patch. At least the road's not too bad, huh? Compared to some of the roads we go on. This must be the lake over here. See the open area? Yep. Road on in to Loon Lake. Scenic through the trees. Doesn't do me any good with the sunlight. I can't get any of the mountains on camera. There we go. It's on. May have to zoom out a little. So anyhow, I got Tammy taking hold of the camera because I'm driving along cliffs. And you can see Devil's Peak, I believe, up here over the ridge. Behind us, which I'll have to film later in the hike, is Pyramid Peak. There's about 25 peaks in the area. This is what I wanted. This is what I wanted to film, is the Crystal Basin coming on in. Okay, thank you. Down there. It's very rugged in the Crystal Basin. But if you want to get to creatures like Bigfoot, you actually have to go down the woods and harsher areas where you can find rock outcrops and dens, areas maybe where there is no human activity, where you might find something strange. But look how deep down it is. That is gorgeous. We're not even at the lake, but you can see the peaks towering the basin. To the right, which is east, is Lake Tahoe over the mountains and Crystal Mountain Range. Love this area. So far when I've seen it, I love it. It's a long ways down, so driving this road, it has a lot of curves. If you have a boat or a trailer, just make note of it. You got to be very careful. But the road's not too bad, but you can see the view. Look how open it is. It's an expanse of woods, rock outcrops, plateaus, peaks. Dirt biker stopped up here, or somebody did. You can see people go dirt biking on this road. I won't want a dirt bike here. Go right off the cliff. There we go. Anyhow, we're almost at our campsite. I'll be back with more footage. We're not driving along the cliffs. That's the road on in to Loon Lake and the back route into the Desolation Wilderness. Find it, and it's just a volcanic dome, but it's still 500-600 feet. That surround the basin. You see, it's a good 2-3 hour hike. I highly about this in Lassen. Off to the right, it has a triangle on top. That's Pyramid Peak to the southeast. And this is, let's see if this is North Shore coming up. Because it should be. I didn't realize the road's all paved out here. A lot of red rocks. So you can see the sediment layers in some of them. Might be some sandstone. Looks like there is. Devil's Peak is somewhere back in here. Like I said, it's not a high peak. I studied it on maps. Looks like a bunch of piles of rocks with a flat area on top. Wow, this place is packed. We may not get a camp spot back in here. I don't know. Everybody might want to camp at the North Shore. Well, these people are in a group, so it looks like they just came out of there. There's a lot of hiking areas. I don't know. This should be North Shore coming up.
Yeah, right here. And it is packed.
Whoa. Do I go right?
Yeah. See the arrows?
Yeah.
That one's taken. That one's taken. I bet they're all taken.
Oh no. Wait, there's one right there.
Where?
To our left. No trees.
And so it's taken. They're all fucking taken.
Wow. Okay, there's one right there, but no trees, so.
Oh my god. Taken.
Jesus.
That's it. That's all of them.
We'll find our own camping spot.
You can't.
You can't, Jared. You have to camp in a campground.
This is Lord Rick of the Paranormal Ghost Society. We decided to bunk up at the Equestrian Campground, which is located about a quarter mile from the shores of Loon Lake. Loon Lake is just beyond the trees. We have the tent going up right now. I grabbed the wrong tent, did not grab all the poles, so we're improvising with another tent and trying to get something up, somewhat of a makeshift tent. I don't usually camp at campgrounds, but due to the drought, there's fire restrictions, so they really don't even want you camping primitive. And if you do, you cannot have a grill, you cannot have a fire, even if you make a pit. But I'm going to show you something. We have, right behind us, is all primitive. Actually, it's primitive all the way around, but you can see a very steep hill that goes up and over. And these trees are magnificent. These are some large trees. We're surrounded by woods and everything. I mean, yeah, we have a little road here. This is it. So there's no reason for people to come down here because it's like I said, it's a pretty quiet little camping area. Now we're supposed to meet Christina George and her team. I've known Christina a while, and I'm not getting a signal, so they're going to have to look for us because the other campground or other camping area was full. There was no shade. It was just a very bad camping area. So I went to the other side of the lake and found something more primitive to camp on. And, you know, all we have to do is we could hike around the lake or drive a few miles back around, park on the Rubicon Trail, and we could hike into Devil's Peak, Rockbound Lake, Fawn, Spider, and Bucks Lake, and just, you know, we're going to soak up the views later because when we go to Devil's Peak, we'll have views of the Desolation Wilderness and the Crystal Range and Pyramid Peak. But I mean, you could see, look at that, it's massive. The base on that tree would take about 10 people with their arms chain linked together. It's that massive. There's a lot of rocks. These were brought here by glaciers. They weren't put here by the forestry. Everything is as is. Look at that. Massive trees. We don't have a lakeside view, but it's at least it's shady here. It's forested. It's very pleasant. I will enjoy camping here. I'll enjoy camping here because if you look, there's... Did you guys look? Did you guys see this? There are hills and woods all the way in back. It's all primitive back
It
there.
only goes up to 7.
Huh? Oh, I know. Well, no, if we could, me and Jerry could hike like Sunday morning, 15 minutes, we'll be standing on a ridge up there. There's a ridge that overlooks the lake in the area. So this is a good area. There's a tree, a really old 250, 300-year-old tree back there. Yeah, we're going to have to put stuff in there. Anyhow, our tent is what it is, but it'll work. We'll be able to camp tonight. Otherwise, I'd say sleep in the truck or the Jeep or end up near the fire where no animals are going to mess with us. But this is okay. I'm going to get everything situated, sleeping bags set up, get the food here before the bears get to it, the hammock set up. A lot of places to put a hammock, read a book, smoke a doob, and we'll drink some Samuel Adams beers of summer. A lot of different flavors. I got a lantern hanging, nice fire ring. We got some wood. It's going to be a great trip. A lot of bird species I've seen. Quite a few different trees growing back in here. There's a lot of moss on the trees. It's green and lush and blue skies. This is a great place. I don't like campgrounds, but this is kind of off on its own. And we have a gateway. The trail is right up ahead. It's the gateway into Spider Lake. Follows the shores of Loon Lake. Heck, I think I'll hike all 3 days. I'll do a little hike here, a little hike there. Today I'll do a hike to Devil's Peak. Tomorrow the lakes. Then maybe Sunday morning I'll go on a lake hike. This area offers that. And the fishing's supposed to be really good. More than likely, yeah, we're going to definitely do a little fishing here today. Well, I want to save my video footage.
Just walk out because it was bothering the mistake.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Folks, this is Lord Rick. Check out our site, www.paranormalghostsociety.org, and the Loon Lake expedition and campout has begun. Ladies and gentlemen, I am on the dam on my way back from North Camp. We're actually in the Crystal Basin. We're just on the other side of the lake, below Pyramid Peak. It overshadows us, but in an area that's very lush, surrounded by 5-6 lakes, the Rubicon River nearby, and of course the lake shore about a quarter to a half a mile. The Crystal Basin is very beautiful. Along the mountain range you see here is the Desolation Wilderness. And if you look here, look at that basin down there, or that canyon. That's massive. I mean, you could spend years hiking out here and still not see it all. You could summit a peak every single week. And there's at least 100 peaks in this area. How miles of hiking trails are here, did you say?
117.
Tammy says there's 117 miles of hiking trails just in this area alone. I just wanted to put it in perspective. That's why I parked on the dam, just to kind of show you what it's like. Now, the water does drain down into here, and then it's backed up by the dam. It's so shallow I can see the bottom from the dam. You're not supposed to. It's supposed to be much deeper. The water actually comes up to the tree line, and it's about 30, 40 feet below normal levels. So the drought is having its effects here. But I'm out of here. I got to find Christina George. Also, ladies and gentlemen, this is the capital of the Rubicon Off-Road Vehicle Trail, or OHV. And I've seen about 10 different Rubicons of all ages, models. It's amazing. Some are on lifts, 3-4 feet off the ground, big ass monster truck tires. And I'd love to take that trail. This Jeep is not fit for that type of off-roading, but I have legs and I'll use them. And we'll take the road less traveled and stand on a couple vista points and just get some good scenic.
Camp spot here?
This is, yeah.
Is there a clip thing? Yeah, there's a clip thing there.
All right. All right. We're at the Loon Lake campground, equestrian area, and we're gonna clip PGS or Lord Rick Rowe or something here. We'll see. So Christina can find us in her team. Over and out. The Crystal Basin is full of wonders. For example, I'll show you one of them. You have a creek that flows through this canyon. You have drop-offs right here and here. And the creek, years and years of the creek flowing has caused this canyon to, I'd say probably easily easily a few million years of erosion has caused this canyon has caused the basin to expand and the canyon to widen. And the creek today barely flows. Or should I say Rubicon River, I believe that's the river. It's obvious that rivers create canyons of this monolithic size, but there's cliffs everywhere. You go off the road and you roll, you're gonna bang off rocks for hundreds of feet down, 300-400 feet. But technically, if you wanted a rugged hike and you want to really look for Bigfoot, go hundreds of feet down where the vegetation and forest is thick and there are no trails, and keep traversing the river, rock climbing, rock scrambling, and you'll find the answers you seek here. There's 117 miles of trails and over 100 square miles of the Crystal Basin area probably that extend out to the Tahoe National Forest. But this is the northeast part of the Eldorado Forest. It's full of UFOs and Bigfoot activity, years of lore. There's actually a historic area we're going to visit on this trip as well. Has a lot of ancient Native American history, which we'll cover later in the trip. A lot of meadows, for example. I'll show you one of those meadows that's high up below a ridge. Pyramid Peak. Some of the most beautiful country along the Desolation Wilderness and in the Eldorado National Forest, and we're standing right here on it. Crystal Basin is almost magical in a sense. As you can see, it's a lot of granite cliffs. It's as if we're stepping back in time, when the glaciers had carved out these canyons, leaving giant boulders and scraping rocks along the way. And it melted and leaving behind all these crystal clear alpine granite lakes that you see today. It's vast. No wonder why Bigfoot is located here all the way. And food sources, remote areas for something elusive to hide. You could see why something cryptid might be lurking in these parts. Looks like somebody's getting a little comfortable.
Right.
We're here, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing, man?
Good.
I'm sorry it took so long. We were trying to get a signal.
Did you text her?
We tried, it didn't go through. But we did hang a sign out at the entrance.
Mm-hmm.
So that should work, right? A sign. Oh, cool. Cool.
To wash your hands?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I went to it.
So we found an area we can go.
I did that one on purpose. I did this one on purpose for me, but that one is higher up and it's
So awesome. Hey, I found some good news. A way to get to Devil's Peak. We also found two vista points we can drive up and off-road and park at and get some views. It's real pretty back there. There's like 10, 12 different peaks all in a row. It's real pretty. And the lake is really pretty. We'll go fishing later too. Catch some yummy trout for dinner or something. That'd be awesome, huh? Yeah. Alright, man. Well, Tammy will be back. I think we'll eat lunch and wait for everyone to show. It's nice back here, though. You'll like it. Some good hikes back here, too, man. Yeah, this is God's country for sure.